Sorry, Kate. I was locked in. The tie is never uncomfortable. The tie is never uncomfortable. It is yeah, it's, I don't know, it's one of those things like once you have it on, you know. I don't get like the whole idea where people like they're like straining your neck and everything like that. It just means you don't have a collar that fits. You get the right size, and you're good to go. I have a pretty big neck too. I wear like a 16 and a half or something like that. Which, as far as necks go, got some decent neck. Jesus Christ. So yeah, it's a vibe. It.
Devᯅ. I had no idea I was on this whole time. I will see you tomorrow.
Up.
One sec. How you doing, man?
What's up? Doing pretty good. Which
Uh,
branch are you on again?
my branch. One sec. I gotta push something really quick.
Main work.
Yeah, but just let me push
Okay.
this. Thanks for volunteering as tribute. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Hopefully this should be a relatively quick one.
We are nocturnal animals.
Mm-hmm.
Did you end up integrating with Avena today?
The prediction, I think early, yes, but I don't know if we've done the rest of it, the one that, like, the patches he's made.
Gotcha.
So it might be an early tomorrow before the call kind of endeavor.
Okay. We still aiming for Friday?
Yep. Yepers. As long as I can get this done, then it's feasible.
Right. Should I switch branch or not?
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, you go ahead. My bad, man.
Let me just do a quick push.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, you're good to switch now.
Alright.
Just whenever you're over, let me know and we can run it.
Yeah, it's just loading.
What am I looking at? It's kind of cool though. Yo. the fuck? That looks nice though. I mean, one thing I like about Bungie, and the people might not agree with this, Destiny's quality of the game in terms of arts and everything in the game is massive. It's very fucking polished. So they get a new IP that's good, and it has the same graphic level and design. I mean, it's massive. Problem is, it's a game just fucking sucks, but the resources that they have and the talent they have is massive.
Dave, I'm really scared, but I'm really happy to be talking to you. I've made a lot of bad decisions. I have a mountain of debt, and I have a 3-month-old, and the wife and I just discovered we have another baby on the way. So yay! It's a celebration, but it's just added to my financial unpeace. So I'm just calling for.
Sorry, what?
No, it says so slow.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. So how much debt do you have, sir?
Including the house,
It's almost there.
Okay. And how much of that is the house?
300.
Okay. So you have 224,000 non-mortgage?
Yes, sir.
What is that on?
So I have $37,000 truck note, about $1,400 on a credit card, $2,000 left on a hospital bill that we're paying off for the newborn, and my wife has 90 in student loans, and then I have 80.
All right. I would put both the student loans, the Parent Plus loan and the student loan on hardship deferral right now, and I'd sell your truck. Let's get some of these payments down. You need to get on a written budget, and what you have to do when you're doing a budget that's super tight like this is you start with what's most important, food.
Okay.
The second thing is lights and water. The third thing is the house
What the
payment.
hell?
Pay your car payments, you keep gas in the cars, you keep going to work, and hopefully your wife can stay employed this time, but if not,
What
then
is
we'll deal with
going
that. If she's not back in the workplace following the
Unity
pregnancy, you're
froze.
gonna have to sell
Now
this
to
house.
restart.
Dave, I'm really scared, but I'm.
The Xbox.
Say what?
We make more money than.
Now Unity froze.
Oh.
I had to.
Yeah.
I have to restart.
uncut sheets of holofoil Pokemon cards from the original base set. Underneath here is the starter deck card, Machamp.
Oh, this is the most printed card out of the era of Pokemon right here. I'm expecting you want a lot of money for him.
I do. $30,000 for each of these uncut sheets.
Let me have Matt come in and see what he says about that.
Condition's the most important thing here. A little bit of scratching here or there. Condition's probably better than most. This sheet immediately shows a little bit more marks. It's got some hollow scratching here and there. Uncut Pokemon sheets are very scarce. With the demand getting so much more, it's just tough to find these. For this Machamp sheet here, retail value would be about $5,000. This sheet is better condition than the other sheet, rarer than the other sheet, probably $10,000.
You have a lawyer?
I do.
Is this a paid for lawyer? Or?
No, I've been rolling with the public defender.
Yeah.
There's a $150,000 restitution being held above my head.
Fucking why?
Because California laws are bullshit.
But California laws were broken.
Says who? I didn't.
It says California.
I mean, when you get arrested, right? You're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Were you proven guilty?
No, it's an open case right now. I was attacked and I was stabbed 6 times by 3 dudes.
You were stabbed.
Yeah.
6
All right.
times?
Almost didn't make it.
Why is this man?
Good.
Alrighty. You run it as the server. I'll run it as the client.
My private studio of which
Okay.
this I have
Well,
fear.
we're friends. Got you.
You have a lawyer?
Just let me know when you're in. And
Yeah. Give me one sec.
Yep.
Scripts are compiling in the background.
get you.
Scene 12, right?
Yep.
Is it just blackberries? No, lemon juice. But look, you'll have to list what's on here. Look, it's got potassium metabisulfides in it. So you've got to list.
On my jam, I've got to write may contain traces of potassium metabisulfate.
Yes,
It's not very good marketing.
All right. In.
All right. I will. Lovely. All right. Almost in. Okay. Could you spawn a car for me?
Oh, I can actually hear you. That's nice. Which car do you want?
Hand tank.
Hand tank.
And then grab a phone and put it on the car. Okay. Just let me handle the rest.
That's gigantic.
Okay, so things get a little bit wacky, but that was interesting. Throw another one on for me.
Okay. I saw that capsule going underground.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so it likes to be a little freaky. But it does work. Okay, so it doesn't disappear. Alright. Let me put my own on. Okay. Okay.
Same thing.
I know.
There's something weirdly funny about this.
Oh.
It's like you're brushing
I do
your
one more.
teeth.
Just want to make sure it. Yeah, there's something weird about those capsules too. Oh, fuck. Went already all the way underground. So I want to make sure it can rotate it. That is weird how that happens.
Yeah, the phone just decides to go wild.
Also makes itself big, which is kind of weird. Oh, you know what it might be? Okay, I think. Alright, I'm kind
Maybe
of.
it thinks that you're editing.
Yeah, it thinks,
Thinks
I'm
you're
editing.
editing the part.
Yeah. Alright, so I need another flag.
You have jump disabled, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, it looks like it does rotate. Okay. Alright, well that's good. That's good enough for me to know.
Alright. Anything else you need?
For now, no. That's totally fine, man. Thank you.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Look forward. I'll go back to my branch.
Sounds good, man.
Alright, man. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow morning.
Making jam or preserve or concert?
What's the difference?
So, okay, there is a difference and it's all to do with sugar content. You know on the side of a jam thing it says, this was made with X amount of fruit. So like 50 grams of fruit made 100 grams of jam.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What does Mrs. Beasley? She'll say, you've got to have a specific amount of sugar to make it jam.
No, she doesn't.
£3 to £3.
Well, I'll put the £3 of sugar in then.
But fine, but how many Blackberries have you got?
I don't know.
So basically, you can't use that.
What?
You haven't weighed it. You need
You
to know.
can't use it.
You'll need to start again. Is it just blackberries?
No, lemon juice.
But look, you'll have to list what's on here. Look, it's got potassium metabisulfites in it. So you've got to
So
list.
on my jam, I've got to write, may contain traces of potassium metabisulfate.
Yes, because...
It's not very good marketing.
Okay, were you making jam or preserve or conserve?
So my wife and I,
What they want?
They want us to evacuate.
Evacuate. They say why?
Pedro said cold black.
I'm sure they said that.
Yes.
Could be a drill. Even if it's not a drill, I can't evacuate. I've got an open brain on the table. I'm not leaving Bailey's husband on the table with the skull flap open, so if anybody wants to go, they should go. Anybody want to evacuate? Going once. Going twice. 3 times.
Dr. Shepard, there's an explosive device in the OR next door. I need you to evacuate now.
Guy whose brain is exposed on this table. I'm not going to walk away and leave him to die. The rest of you can go. You should go. Section.
The chief of surgery has authorized me to tell you you cannot stay here.
Chief of surgery doesn't scare me. Dr. Bailey scares me. I'm not going to be the one to let her husband die. That's what would happen if I put a skull flap on in this condition. Bomb or no bomb. Now get out of my OR. Section. What they want?
They want us to evacuate.
Evacuate. They say why?
Pedro said cold black.
I'm sure they said that.
Yes.
Could be a drill. Even if it's not a drill, I can't evacuate. I've got an open brain on the table. I'm not leaving Bailey's husband on the table with the skull flap open, so if anybody wants to go, they should go. Anybody want to evacuate? Going once. Going twice. 3 times.
Dr. Shepard, there's an explosive device in the OR next door. I need you to evacuate now.
Guy whose brain is exposed on this table. I'm not going to walk away and leave him to die. The rest of you can go. You should go.
I had a rumor for Robinhood that one of the services that they might offer is a Uber service where they deliver cash.
They already do.
Yeah.
In the Robinhood app, say $100, here's where I am, and someone will bring you $100 in cash. The same way you would DoorDash or Uber Eats.
So you heard the rumors about real estate? That is absolutely real.
What is it?
They would eventually get into the brokerage.
So I would be able to buy a house.
Buy or sell your house.
Robin.
Through the Robinhood.
Yes. When did we start talking about them getting into sports wagering? A year ago. And now they're in sports wagering. I made my first sports wager on Robinhood a week and a half ago on the Duke game and won. When you look at Robinhood, I truly believe they're in a position to be the largest financial institution on earth within 25 years.
I had a rumor for Robinhood that one of the services that they might offer is a Uber service where they deliver cash.
They already do.
Yeah.
In the Robinhood app, say $100, here's where I am, and someone will bring you $100 in cash. The same way you would DoorDash or Uber Eats.
So you heard the rumors about real estate? That is absolutely real.
Okay, Dr. Gray. Now that you've drained the organ, we can attempt to repair it.
Now my day is perfect.
What was she thinking?
She wants her mother's approval. She wanted to please her.
And this damage is the result? left. Here, reset that.
Needle tip Lofi, please.
When you're done here, you have post-ops waiting.
I know, Dr. Bailey.
Stanley's got the flu, so you need to pick up the slack in the clinic.
Look, I'll mop the floors, okay? Sorry, that was inappropriate.
It's not the only thing that's inappropriate. While we're on the subject, can you tell me what you think you're doing?
Look, I'll jump through hoops if you want me to. But what I do when I leave this hospital is my business.
Half this hospital knows your business.
And I know he gonna see this. And don't try that watch flexing shit with me. Please. Because we can do whatever you want to do.
Both hands in the air. Both hands in the air. Brother, I got AMP's entire net worth on a one USB stick in some safety deposit box somewhere, okay, buddy? We're not gonna go there.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to say. All I'm gonna say is I've seen numbers. And
XQC is so rich. Like, he was rich before, but like rich in the way I understand it. Now he is rich in a way that I no longer understand. It is beyond my understanding of wealth.
It is mind-boggling to understand how much money this guy really has at this point. He'll pull out 100K, like you'll pull out a dollar bill. It's insane to watch. And also it's insane to watch the lack of this man gives when he has $100,000 out.
Bro, I'm not getting today. I found some fucking old one. It had like 1 mil left in it, right? No. I found it out of nowhere, right nowhere. And then because of the fucking rise, it's at 3-something mil. It's like I found 3 mil in the fucking couch cushions, bro. I was like,
So what'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I have like a wallet like in between what I use and then the cold. Well, there's like 27 mil in it. There's like 9 left.
Whoa.
How much do I have?
Can you sue if the car accident was your fault?
Not really, but your passengers could sue. Because your passengers are not at fault. Your passengers might be able to sue the driver of the car, or if it's an accident between several cars, third parties who may be at fault as well.
Can you sue if the car...
Yeah. I accidentally set this. So weird.
Our accident was your fault. There was a guy in prison. So you don't have Google in prison. What you have is ask a white guy. So one time I remember we're watching Noah in the car, and we're all sitting there watching, and this guy in front of me, black guy, and so as he's watching, at some point the stowaways on the ark, the guy reaches into a cage and he like eats one of the creatures. He like bites his head off and he eats it. Noah's son is like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, we need them. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What? I'm hungry. I'm starving down here." He's like, "What? You just killed one of God's creatures?" And he's like, "So what?" He's like, "You just wiped it out because you just killed the male or the female." The guy in front of me goes, "How come he say that, Cox? Cox, how come he say that? Why he say that?" If I mocked him, he might jump up and run up and just start smashing on me. So you don't say that. What you do is act like it's a normal question. So he goes, "How come he say that, Cox?" And I went, "Well," I said, "because they were only had so much space. There's 25 guys there leaning in." And I said, "They were only able to bring a male and a female." I said, "If you kill the male or the female," I said, "there's no way to reproduce that species." He goes, "What do you mean?" And so as of course I'm explaining this to the guy, I realized, like, God, this guy's so stupid. And I looked.
What the fuck? What's going on? What the fuck's going on with these things? It could be that. Yeah. Could be that. There we go. I want to figure shit out.
When is too late to live at home? Once you are in your mid-20s and still living at home, there's a problem. You should have graduated. Even if you did a second degree, you should be, by 25 or 26, gainfully employed and have some semblance of what you're doing in that stage of life. If you are on salary, I just don't think you should be living at home with mom and dad. I get there's rare situations, there's cultural differences, there's ultra high cost of living areas, but I still would say your quality of life is going to be better if you move out and get your own place, even if you financially suffer a little bit. I said what I said. I think the context matters. Here's who this was really aimed at. Dudes in America. Comment section didn't get that, okay? When is too late to live at home?
Dave, it's costing you like 20 grand to teach me how to golf.
I'm worth 50.3 billion. I spent more on an endangered parrot sandwich.
This is where the 2 gigs live. They only get 2 gigs of data a month, and once they run out, they can't afford anything. Things included in your level of service, your shower, your view of the lake, they don't have.
Lean Cuisine sponsors the cafeteria to try new recipes.
Today's special Fiesta Jalapeno Creamed Meat. Yikes. What is this? It's only the first 5 pages?
Yep, the free sample. If they want to read the whole book, they have to pay extra.
Oh, hey. Love Harry Potter. All the magic's so cool.
There's magic in Harry Potter?
He's frozen until next month, unless someone adds to his account. But most of them don't have money of their own. They don't even get the basic sweatsuit included in the plan.
Dave, it's costing you like 20 grand to teach me how to golf.
I'm worth 50.3 billion. I spent more on an endangered parrot sandwich.
This is where the 2 gigs live. They only get 2 gigs.
Because CCTV, witnesses. If his granddad finds out, he's a dead man. I'm dead. What are you gonna eat? Go on, tell him.
Please don't, Dad. I've got throbber on.
Eddie, why don't you sit down? Thank you.
Can I have one?
No, you fucking can't. Don't make him one. Alright, what happened? He stabbed up another kid in a club. I gave him a plunge. Right. How badly did you hurt him?
Search me.
What did you do with your knife?
Tossed it.
Where?
In the drink. It's in the Thames. 3 feet of mud, never gonna be seen again.
Where is the club?
Somewhere east.
You can either help me now, right, or you can carry on doing whatever it is that you're doing, and you will end up doing 5 to 10 in Belmarsh for attempted murder. You are fucking nutty. Where is the club?
I've got the address in my phone.
Right. Can you guess what my next question's gonna be? Go and get your stuff, your shirt, everything you wore last night, pants, socks, the lot.
I've already packed them up. Except his shoes.
Eddie, where are your shoes? They're Italian.
Okay. Great. Why don't you wear them in court? What if this kid dies? We deal with it. The boy's gonna give me a heart attack. Because she's... You know at school I did cheesy?
UN Command sent my men on that patrol. The most dangerous stretch of Route 90 in the entire valley, and you
Sent my men.
Me? What are you talking about?
You saw my men as expendable.
Victor, I don't personally oversee the peacekeeping forces, and you can't possibly think that there was some deliberate attempt to put your men in harm's way.
So I am to believe what? This was a random act of fate, yes?
Listen, whoever's responsible, we can't let them foment distrust between us. If we do, then they win. Makes us strong. Let us help you find out who did this.
Russians are dead. Russia will find the killers.
Well, can we at least keep the dialogue open? Consult with each other before you make any move.
I'm going to do what I must, Mr. President.
We have...
I'm sorry, Mr. President, but the line has been disconnected.
Alderman was right. Those 8 bodies give Petrov options. He's not shedding tears. He's popping champagne corks.
and commands.
Devᯅ is doing his job. Taylor's not helping. I've been asking for calculations on the implosion lenses for weeks.
The British can do it. Hughes.
It's your job, Taylor.
I'm engaged in research.
On a hydrogen bomb we're not even building.
I give a lot of boob jobs.
Okay.
But I also...
I called this meeting because, as all you drivers know, the Nürburgring is the most stupid, barbaric, outdated, and dangerous track in the world. You've all seen the rain that has been falling today. So I called this meeting to take a vote to cancel the race.
If the race is cancelled, none of us get our race fees.
That's true. You leave without your fee, but you might leave with your life. So I can see why this suits you just fine. Why?
James is right. This is just tactics.
Maybe he's just frightened.
Which asshole said this? Yes, of course I'm frightened. I accept every time I get in my car. There's 20% chance I could die, and I can live with it, but not 1% more. And today with the rain, the risk is more. I'm the only person in history to do the ring in under 7 minutes. So actually, it's to my advantage to race it today, because I'm quicker than all of you. Fine, then let's race.
Well, all those in favor of canceling the race? All those in favor of racing? Gentlemen, the race is on.
I called this meeting.
Do not know what happened, but something was said that was...
Anyone else that you can identify?
Not that I can see, no.
What about this man here?
Well, we can't see his face.
Mr. Hensley, it seems that we can never see this man's face. But from his outfit and his actions, would you say that this man works for you at the hotel?
No. All of our employees are in uniform at all times.
Do you have undercover security officers who pose as guests?
No, we do not. Our security is post-oriented, and they all wear blazers with name tags.
I see. So, if this man is not a hotel employee, then what do you think he's doing in this footage?
Objection calls for speculation.
Who's a smarter comic book character? Batman or Reed Richards?
Reed Richards. No, I'm in a bit of a unique spot. I'm 18 years old, and I'm actually, I trade futures.
In the bedroom of a known communist that has your sister's name on it. It was obvious.
What are the projections on gas prices? North of 150 a barrel for oil, 6, maybe 7,000 gallons for fuel.
My phone has been ringing off the hook, sir, from the UK to Poland. The IMF wants to help us with the debt relief solution. Sir?
We need to respond to strength with strength.
I don't know how we could be any stronger other than to invade Russia.
And what if we do?
Excuse me, sir?
Not with troops, with fear.
He already thinks we're behind Milk and Straight and Cook. What if we put Milk in a position to succeed?
Now, I don't care if Milk can actually succeed.
Put him in a room with other dissidents.
The diplomatic repercussions of such an action.
All I want is the appearance. Let's look at best and worst case scenarios as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
What are the projections?
A confident person doesn't have to talk fast and doesn't talk high. I remember the first arrest I made, and I said, "Stop! This is the FBI." My voice was, but nobody was gonna stop.
Is Michael Hearn natural? The better question is, how much is this guy on? This is not just on HRT. This guy is on everything at this point. He's not just a little bit on natty. He's on the most, in our world, he's the most questionable. Because he diets down to like these movie roles, and he looks even more crazy. And I've done videos on, I'm an expert on Michael Hearn. He's gained 25 pounds of muscle in 1 year. I'm like, you gained 25 pounds of muscle this year, Mike. Okay, really? How? Well, if you did, you must have lost 25, because I don't see you 25 pounds bigger than last year. So he's going in these phases, and he'll just cover up a little bit more, and he doesn't say his actual body weight.
It's very tricky on social media because he has a lot of pictures that always, he seems to always be in shape, and he's always strong. He can bench press a lot. He squats. Is Michael Hearn natural?
I'm too harsh on the ghost?
Yeah.
I had the conversation the way that I wish someone had with me a decade ago. If you don't think you would get help from being on the show, don't come on the show. And the people who are on the show know exactly what they're getting into.
Some of your titles, though, like this one, Dumb Blonde Can't Get Her Life Together.
Click on that
walked into the room and told us she wanted dumb blonde to be the title. I love it.
Yeah,
But this one says dumb strip. Blows my mind. Did she walk in and say, I want you to see?
She didn't walk in and say it, but they have to read through paperwork and agree to it. There was that one dude who stood up and started to walk out. He's emotionally imbalanced.
I just know somebody's gonna be like, oh, you think you're a smart kid. And I...
That's the milk powder.
Do you know how much that is a bag?
Oh, God, how much is
Are you aware of how much that is a bag? Have a guess.
What happened?
Hey, so I'm at this party. You know AJ Knox, the Chargers quarterback?
Dude, if you call me this late at night to talk football.
Sorry, the thing is, your friend Rachel was here. Maybe I'm overreacting, but
Miles, say what you're gonna say, man.
she's wasted. Right? And I tried to offer her a ride home. She said no, and I don't want to just leave her here, but I'm worried somebody's going to take advantage of her.
Will you just text me the address and I will head over there right now.
Sorry, is it too loud?
No, not at all.
Wait, did somebody scream earlier?
That was me. Ghosts are scary.
Raj fixed the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I updated your firmware and I added a wireless repeater to supercharge your speed and...
Where are you going? Actually, Rachel is partying in Bel Air, and apparently she needs help, so... Do you need company?
No, it's okay.
Well, I, for one, would feel better if you had some backup.
Oh, and what exactly would you do if things went sideways?
I'm gonna let Selena and her Fist of Fury handle it.
Okay.
I would've thought...
What happened?
How much does she weigh?
600 kilos.
That's crazy. Why so heavy?
It's a V12 engine. That lump weighs 190k on its own.
Okay. What horsepower are you getting? 490?
No, 450.
Well, it's low enough. Needs to be 500. And the engine needs to be 20 kilo lighter.
We already tried.
Tried what?
Replaced the entire exhaust system. Barely made a difference.
Are you using magnesium parts?
What was Rigazzoli's time? 1:53. Okay, now put him in my car and he go round 2 seconds faster.
I don't understand. Why am I supposed to do this?
I don't know, Clay. Just want you to take it for a spin.
Glass, please.
How much does she weigh?
I want to see what you think 40,000 hours would go to. Draw out your game plan of how you would use $40,000.
I'm trying to start my own company in the EDM world. I feel like there was a huge untapped market in EDM with how much it's blowing up right now.
You're right, there was 15 years ago.
There still is a lot when it comes to stuff like artists and interviews, when it comes to like lifestyle brands and stuff.
Lifestyle brands, oh wow, we're getting a lot of just like terms.
So when you're looking at artist interviews right now, you actually don't even get to really know anything about the artist or the scene itself.
I want to hear what you would do.
What I would want to do is actually get into it like more on the ground. So have like media team like at the festival grounds, at the show.
Team.
That would be the goal. That would be the goal.
Okay. High upfront costs.
Sure. At the moment, I've been doing it all by myself.
Wait, you've been, because this is ongoing.
Yes.
Oh, sick. How much have you made?
Probably been about 2 years. I've made probably a couple thousand in profit, like 2,000 in profit.
I don't know if this is a full back.
I want to see what if an alien landed right in front of it and said to you, "Theo, take me to your room." Are you going to take me to the White House? No, of course not. Will you take me to Congress? No. It's a great.
I don't want to lose the first thing you asked about, which is taxation, because I think, a big thing, I think most Americans, definitely my party, but I think most Americans believe that if you're making $1 billion, good for you, but like you should at least be paying an effective tax rate that's comparable, or I would argue more than like a firefighter. And that's not true right now. Like right
because
now,
nobody really makes $1 billion.
Right, because it's all equity, and it's like, you're not getting a paycheck.
Nobody makes income. Like anybody that's generating that type of wealth is not making income.
Right.
So it's almost like, and this is not like a woo-hoo, like we got it so tough, but it's almost like the people who are, I think Miles used the term like not middle rich, like middle class, like they're the ones that are actually paying what they should pay. If they're adhering to the tax code, they're not, hiring these tax attorneys that are gonna, attack it all willingly and try to reduce whatever they're paying in. But let's take it for face value, right? Somebody, an athlete or somebody that's making $5 million, and let's say that they pay $2.5 million around, right? The concern I have really is potentially the corporations, and I'm not smart enough to even know about this stuff. But it seems to me, and I think tariffs plays into this, so I'd love to get your take on this. But like, It seems to me on the surface, and again, I'm giving a very emotional argument. You can give me tons of data, call me an idiot for even thinking this, but it's possible.
I doubt it, but
okay. Seems to me that there's been an effort that has been supported to, send the manufacturing of some of these products overseas to increase profits, right?
Sure.
Or maybe it's more effective to manufacture them overseas. Maybe it's not all nefarious, but the idea is to increase shareholder profits or increase the profits of the company. Which I'm not necessarily against. What I'm against is when you also put these shell companies overseas to decrease, you create the headquarters and you put it in Dublin or something like that, so you can avoid taxes. So
and it's a PO box, nobody's even there.
Exactly. So you can't do both. You can send the manufacturing overseas, but at least if we're taxing the revenue of that company that's generating billions of dollars, you would like to believe that money would come back to the American people, and then we could reinvest in the American people, and then maybe there's other industries that would pop up, and those jobs could transfer from manufacturing to those new ones.
Or vice versa.
But you can't do. To me, it just feels like if you do both, you are using the marketplace that America is. That
encourages entrepreneurship, all of that, but not really giving back.
And then stealing from it.
Yeah, there's no question, especially because a lot of what that tax revenue goes into or is supposed to go into here in the U.S. is what then turns around and makes it possible for businesses to thrive.
Can you give us an example of that?
Yeah, my favorite example is probably the smartphone. So, have you ever noticed in talks or whenever somebody mentions a smartphone, they start to pull it out of their pocket or touch it? But so the federal government could not have invented the iPhone, right? I don't think any of us would want a phone that was invented by the federal government.
That thing would suck.
That is all of the design, the manufacturing, supply chains. That's the kind of thing that corporations can do very well, and Apple did it very well, and their competitors. But what makes the iPhone work? Well, among other things, the internet. The internet was literally invented by a federal research project. And it would never have been possible to invent the internet with a private company because you wouldn't have got the kind of capital merger, even though it's $1 trillion idea or a multi-trillion-dollar idea. Companies can do multi-billion-dollar ideas, but $1 trillion idea, like inventing the internet, that requires basic research, and that's the kind of thing the government's supposed to do, among many other things.
It requires basic research? What is that?
Yeah, by basic research, I mean things that are so fundamental that you actually don't know for 50 or 100 years if they're going to have a return. They might never work out.
Oh, yeah. You can't look at it as this thing that's going to be profitable. It has to be
so it's different
benevolent endeavor for society.
Yeah, it's different from research on like a pharmaceutical company researches a new medication, expecting that they're going to
have a return in the next 10, 20 years.
Right, at least kind of within the kind of profit run.
Yeah, but public parks is another version of this and stuff like that. You can't privatize the public park.
Right, this is the whole idea of public goods. Right? This is why we have governments, why we collect taxes.
God, we're turning into such libs already, dude.
But there's a handshake, right? There are the things that only the government can do, and then there are the things that the private sector can and should do, and they meet in the middle. But if you start shorting, part of what really worries me right now about this kind of war on academia, and there are some things about academia that need to change, but the war on academia, the cuts to cancer research, the cuts to science research, this kind of general anti-science atmosphere that I think is emanating from the administration, that costs us in ways that don't show up on a corporate profit and loss statement 6 months from now or a year from now. But in terms of whether a country, a society, an economy is productive and is growing and is innovating, that starts to really cost you over time. And if we're shorting that, or if corporations and extremely wealthy people don't want to be paying into that through taxes, that is, I think, a classic example of a kind of short-term gain that causes long-term pain.
Yes.
I'm really worried about that.
And I think that's why there seems to be a lot of support for the administration right now, or one reason why, and even support for the administration when it comes to tariffs. When the tariffs happen and you hear about the stock market being deeply affected, most Americans are not invested in the stock market. So they're like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, rich people are losing some money? Or 50%. We can go off the numbers. Meaning there's a large swath of Americans that don't feel directly
But here's the thing, right?
Impact.
So part of what's happening is the markets are responding to their belief that the tariffs will probably make the world economy less productive and make a recession more likely. But a tariff is a tax that people pay on stuff they buy every day. And proportionally, if you're, middle rich, versus people in the neighborhood I grew up in South Bend, Indiana.
Sure.
Like, proportionally, it's the people in Indiana who are spending a much bigger portion of their income at, let's say, Walmart. And everything at Walmart is about to get more expensive.
You're 100% right. I'm talking about the knee-jerk emotional reaction when you see like people who have money and have seemingly left you behind as they've gotten richer start to suffer a little bit. You go, yeah, I don't really care if you're suffering. In the same way that like when the Palisades fires happened, there was this sentiment of like, oh, a rich person's third home is on fire. They'll figure it out. Not this person's entire like life and belongings just went up in smoke. So I think that there is this like sentiment amongst a lot of Americans. You probably experience it where you're from, just this kind of being like left behind. And I think this taxation of these corporations is a perfect example that really justifies that sentiment. It's like, why are you using the American marketplace and the support that we've given you and the lack of regulation? There's a reason why these companies don't sprout up in other countries, right? They sprout up here. And it's not just because they happen to be these unique, smart individuals, is because there is this marketplace that allows them to thrive here. You don't get to remove the headquarters so that you can not pay your fair share of taxes that's going to then support the next generation of people who do the same thing. But how do you tax them? What do you do?
But look at what's about to happen, right? Like, as we speak, congressional Republicans are working on a budget framework that's going to cut corporate taxes. Like, that's one of the biggest things it's going to do. And even this president, you know, the least popular he ever was last time around was when they passed his tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy. So a lot of this is about, look,
can I ask a question about that real quick? Is there a world where, and I doubt that this is possible, but is there a world where if they do that, it will influence companies that have gone abroad with their headquarters to come back here?
I think it's
I'm not
less
trying to
about
defend the
No,
administration,
I get that argument. But honestly, there are ways to structure taxes so that they capture where the value and the wealth is actually created. Like you can have a PO box in the Bahamas or Ireland or whatever. But so one of the things, for example, that happened in the last administration was an international agreement on like a threshold, a minimum, so that, and now it only works if everybody agrees on it. This is part of why diplomacy matters so much, right? But no other country really wants to see too much of that happening either. So there's a way to create a floor that gets you a more level playing field.
An international agreement for taxation of corporations.
Yeah, the
So even if your account is in Switzerland, if you have $1 trillion in Switzerland or the Cayman or whatever, you're a trillionaire. You're going to get taxed as such.
Exactly. So it reduces the incentive to offshore your books.
Now, kind of seems like you're making the argument for a tariff on Lesotho. Right?
Why? I don't know why they're beating up on Lesotho.
No, I think the justification for that was so that someone can't go put a manufacturing factory on the plate.
Tariffs have their place, right? I mean, we
don't think about tariffs yet, but just on taxation.
But again, what really worries me about tariffs is those don't amount to a tax on corporations.
They amount to a tax on consumers. Without a doubt.
May I push back? Sorry, I want to push back. And this is something Andrew brought up on a call that I completely agree with. And I'm an idiot, but I feel when people say these things, oh, the buck gets passed on to the consumer. That only happens because the corporations have exploited profits to the highest possible degree to keep their share price as high as possible. Things have gotten more expensive over the past 50 years, every year. It's not just inflation. I think corporate greed is a big part of that. So why is it that now that there's a tariff, their profit has to stay the exact same and nobody's looking at them as perpetrators of any kind of greed, and it's just, oh, the United States government is deciding here's a measure to help middle America, and now we have to eat that.
But how is making middle America pay more a measure to help middle America, right? I mean,
well, I would, and I do think I get more frustrated with Democrats because I want very badly to be that. I definitely do not identify as conservative, but I find there's this. When I go to Middle America, and I'm sure you go there. We travel the country. Yeah, you live there. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But it's like, oh, there's like decay in some of these places, and it doesn't feel like the party that I want to identify with has any empathy for them. And this, to me, was an idea that could help bring jobs back there. And I don't think the execution has been great from what I'm seeing, but this could help them. Why don't we look at any measure that could help them beyond, let's keep things the way they are, because the way status quo is not helping.
Yes, I agree on that. Yeah, I think that's really important. And I think what my party has to do is respond to this in a way that doesn't make it sound like our whole argument is let's just go back to 2024, right? Like, things like this, moments like this, movements like the one that's in charge of the White House right now, don't spring up in a country or an economy where everything's going along fine. And look, I lived this too. I grew up in South Bend, Indiana. People think South Bend, they know Notre Dame.
Notre Dame,
The big employer that propelled South Bend wasn't Notre Dame, it was Studebaker. Studebaker made cars. Before the big three, it was the big four. And we were one of them. It dominated our city, grew our city. And then in 1963, they shut down. That's 20 years before I was born, and we were still dealing with it 20 years later. We were still dealing with it 50 years later when I became the mayor there at the age of 29. And what had happened was, I mean, when we were going to school, I would go in between just acres of collapsing factories that literally looked like a war zone. I have been to war zones that look very similar to the way a lot of places in the industrial Midwest, like where I grew up, looked because of some of these things you're talking about. Which is why I think there's an appeal to saying we're going to bring back manufacturing, right? And by the way, again, I don't want to like move away from what I was saying that we shouldn't go back to where we were, because I think a lot needs to change. But I would point out that in our entire lifetime, the year when there was the most investment in factories in the United States, the most factories being built, was last year. Because there were a lot of policies, the chip stuff, the manufacturing stuff, trying to get more of the green economy stuff to be built on U.S. soil, that led to a lot of these factories. Now, a lot of them are still in construction as we speak. Some of them actually open, some of them still haven't. But right now, in Kokomo, Indiana, I just read a story today about 370 workers at Stellantis who just got laid off. Auto workers who got laid off because of the tariffs. So this is a tool that you can use, for sure. But it's absolutely critically important that you know what you're doing when you do. And if you're just making shit up as you go along, or if you're doing it for a reason that's actually less about helping middle America and more about consolidating power, which is what I think is actually happening. We can get into that. Then it's not going to work. But to completely disagree with what you're saying earlier. Like, yeah, part of what's happening is, like, part of why things cost more is that they actually cost more. But also, we've seen a lot of expansion of the corporate profits that people cash in on, right? Which help to explain why a lot of things cost more. But to me, the answer to that is, okay, let's have a fairer tax system.
How do we do
that says, well, I mean, at risk of sounding simplistic, like, you pass a law, like, we can do this, right? It's not like
But what
profoundly
law? For
mysterious.
example, it's not going to be income tax, right? Because they'll find a way to not have income.
So you can adjust capital gains, right? It doesn't have to be like all the way at the level that it used to be.
Even
But
with
it could be
capital
more.
gains, you're only taxing them when they cash out, and a lot of these guys won't cash out. They just take loans against their investments, and then loans aren't taxable, so they live for free.
Right. So that's where the idea of wealth taxes come in, right?
And what is that?
If you're just sitting on it, at a certain point, especially if you're past a certain point in how much you're sitting on, you got to contribute a little bit. I mean, this is not a novel. Property taxes are that way, right? Like, you don't wait. Depends where you live, but usually you don't wait until you sell a home to have to pay property tax on every year. Like, you contribute a little bit of the value of the real estate you're sitting on, and that goes to, you know, the county roads and the school and the sheriff's department or whatever else you count on, right? So, like, there is a way to do that nationally.
But
We just
property
haven't had
tax
the
is
political will
going
to do
to
it.
close that gap? I don't think it's going to close that gap.
I mean, if you had all of these, well, you have pieces of that a lot, right?
No, I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I think that there is this feeling, this sentiment. I think that Akash was tapping into as well. And there's two things. Like, you seem like somebody very knowledgeable, very aware of.
Oh, what's up, dude?
You know these people that were fired in this random
How you
factory.
doing, man?
What'd you say it was?
Kokomo,
Indiana. In Indiana, right? It's like
What's going
the
on?
average person might not know about that. They don't know about these factories being built. But you have to meet the average person where they feel emotional. And like,
yeah, I've been back for a little bit.
acknowledging the
but yeah,
emotions of the people that you're talking to.
So I'm still suited and booted. How's it been going, man?
Hey, man, all-nighter in a suit, that's crazy.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy work. Me, I'm good. This car, pretty good. I added the fucking tick-based simulation, re-simulation.
Mhm.
We don't seem to jitter anymore. Only issue I see is, like, if the client tries to drive the post-spawned car, it's like the positions are slightly off, but when you first jump on, it's like undrivable, and you have to jump off and then jump on again, and then it's like predicted properly. So trying to smooth that shit out, I have no fucking idea.
Oh, because it's in just a completely different place?
I think it's like it's not like completely different. It's still like in the same part of the map, but like just something about the sync is off on that. Like when you first take input authority, only from the server. Like if I spawn my own car, it doesn't do that. If I spawn my own car, the like server drives it, host drives it, and then I take it back, it doesn't do that.
Okay.
It's literally only the car that the host spawns. So
I guess worst case scenario, like, we just, like I said, we're the host, we hang out, we never drive shit, you know?
Yeah.
And we just...
Worst
case, you know? Especially if we're moving towards server authoritative. Okay, well, I assume you want to test that?
no, I just popped it. I mean, well, yes, eventually, but like, I just popped it to get the state of the world to see like what's our plan. I know it's radio pilot.
No, no worries, no worries. Actually, you come at a good time because I just want to test one thing really quick, if you have a moment.
Yeah, man. I gotta jump on your brain.
Yeah. So it's because I think I've fixed everything with the customization, the weird like jumping around and shit, and the disappearing. So as long as that works okay, then we're in business. So all you gotta do. Oh wait, fuck. Let me real quick. Sorry. I forgot to save the scene. There you go. Yeah, whenever you hop on my branch, you'll be host, and I'll just make sure that me as a client everything's okay.
For giving them evidence that might be contrary to them.
All right.
Instead of this like finger wagging approach, which is like, oh, you're stupid if you don't agree with me. Really important. But just quick, like, I think the average like American isn't even aware that like what Amazon makes a year and what they pay in taxes. Like, I think they paid $0 last year.
Yeah, a whole bunch of these corporations.
And I get what they're doing, and it's like they're writing off losses from other parts of the business, or they're reinvesting that money and growing the business. And I don't want the pendulum to swing so far that you can't start a business.
Right.
Sorry, what?
Scene 12.
That's right. Yeah. Scene 12.
Grow and thrive, and I think that's like one of the great things about America. But there has to be this middle ground, and if we don't do something about it, the American people should at least be aware of the I don't want to say the CEOs, but the people that own these companies that are essentially.
Alrighty.
Almost in.
All good.
And back.
That'll delete these starter
rolling
apps.
this out in the next 14 months.
No. I'm not handing you the reins. This is my life's work.
But you'll lose no matter what now that you've stuck your head out.
But we can prevent that.
This way your vision is protected. You get paid fairly.
You don't buy me out. I made my bones when we were going out with cheerleaders.
So we'll agree. No.
Thank you all for your time. Fucking scones. I'm not selling.
Maybe you can go and talk to him.
I can. I'll try. But he is stubborn.
Talk some reason into him. This is the way he wins. Because if I can't have his company this way, I want his tech. And I'll get it.
Your good guy, Prince, has begun
All right, we're in there.
Alright.
Even one vaguely related to what my process does, which gives him standing to sue me for infringement, which will block my work due to injunction potentially for years. It's called patent sharking, and it's not what good guys do.
And back a more robust timetable, rolling this out in the next 14 months.
Unless you want to shut down for the next 90 days, swing it.
I have to tell you, unless Congress passed a new law last night, this suspension is staying.
Okay. Alrighty. I'll just spawn a car.
Oh yeah.
I'll toss this on. Okay. Never mind. It did disappear. That sucks.
I see a color change.
Yeah, that's okay. Let me look at the... Alright, so, okay, it comes back. That's good. At least. Alright, so... Essentially, what I think is happening... Let me... grab this fucking thing. God, that car is wiggling.
With the cars wiggling?
Yeah, for me, it's just a client-side thing.
God damn it.
But... Let's see. Pan tank. Body. LED 1, normal pot. Okay. Alright, so that is what happens. The scale, for some reason, gets set to 0, 0, 0. Alright, the position is fine. The rotation gets set to 0, 0, 0.
Wait, do you see in your hand right now?
I don't. It's because the scale gets set to 0, essentially. So, while I'm editing it for some reason, I think it's on the... it has to do with the render. It gets set to 0 just in render for some reason as a client. I don't really know why. Maybe I just don't cache the last edit the right way. The position seems to be up. I mean, no, Well, the position is updating fine in render. Because that is moving around. Okay, well, I will figure that out. Worst case scenario, I just don't have render and say fuck it. But that's not the end of the world.
Not the worst.
Okay. Well, cool. So sick. That's very helpful, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, okay, wait. I think I kind of understand it. I'm being retarded. You can network structs, right? Yeah, of course. I'm being an idiot. All right. Let me push this up for a second, if you don't mind. And I want to run this again, real quick.
Yeah. Still over here.
Yeah.
That's okay, Your Honor. My client's firm is now the subsidiary of a holding company with a different trading license. In that case, I move to have that company's license suspended. And that right there is why I'd like to ask the court to have Mr. Cahill removed from any investigation regarding my client in the future. This action is nothing more than a stunt designed to punish me through my client.
I've been investigating William Sutter for 18 months.
And in the last 18 months, he took no action. And then yesterday, when I informed him I'm Mr. Sutter's attorney, he suspends his license, and now he's trying to do it again.
Mr. Cahill, I'm inclined to take you off this case.
Your Honor, I've been involved in this case a lot longer than he has, so if anyone is to be thrown off for conflict, it is him. Unless, of course, you want to set a precedent. That any time a defendant doesn't like his prosecutor, all he has to do is hire a lawyer he's gone up against before.
Mr. Tell House.
I am, it is pushed up.
Patient is about to kill the doctor.
She says the patient.
I heard. What do you got?
Well, kind of just raised and repaired. What?
Nines?
How do you know?
Alrighty. Same drill. You can run in as host and
Anything lower.
hop in.
So exciting. Jacks are higher. Her voice sounds like Debbie from accounting sitting in your lap. Ask Cuddy if she can beat a pair of threes.
Can you beat a pair of threes?
What did you do?
I left orders for PO fluids, Doctor.
For the codes. She obviously knows it's me.
She's drinking herself.
Did she stop?
Yes.
Go all in.
But
Just do it.
obviously you're trying to keep me.
Shut up. Last time I wanted the game to go on. I still do. So this time you get to win.
Hold on.
I fold.
House, you sure you're okay?
Your father and I had a deal. Alex, you didn't like it, but you inherited it. The only thing for you to do is to honor that deal. You know what this is?
It's a whistle.
It's a lesson in power.
All right.
So how much do you reckon is here?
I reckon we've got about 200 tons here.
200 tons of feces.
Yep. Feel that? Feel how hot it is? Feel the heat? You feel
Okay,
it?
we spawn.
Why is it so hot?
Alright. I will pop in.
When it ferments,
Oh.
it just gets hot in the middle and comes out.
So that's really hot in
Yeah, that'll be when you start bucketing that, it's gonna be boiling. Start loading up, yeah?
Alrighty.
So how much?
Okay. Let me chuck this bad boy on here. Alrighty. There we go. Being a little bit shaky, but no problemo. Okay. Wicked.
And it's shaky because your version of the car is shaky, right?
Nah. Well, actually, this version of the car is totally fine now. I think this has more to do with. Does it look shaky to you? Like this thing's kind of bobbing up and down?
Yeah. So I mean, it's probably just what like on every tick.
I mean, you give it a go. You gotta remember press the jump button and then. Yeah, it looks nice and smooth. So I think yeah, I gotta still turn off locomotion and stuff. Could be a. I could just mask this with some sort of interpolate. Yeah, so this could be some.
Yeah, I imagine like every 100 to 5.
It's getting. Okay. It's kind of funny. Like the more I walk away, the more it starts to freak out. All right, I think I know what might be going on with this. All right, hold on. I'll do one more thing, and
What does this not have a steering wheel? Oh, it doesn't.
Which one?
Oh shit. The top.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have it. Yeah, I need to add those to that. But
joystick.
All right. And then.
Oh shit.
Okay.
I reckon we've got about 200 tons here.
200 tons of feces.
All right. Let me push this up in a sec.
Feel the heat. You feel it? Ooh.
Why is it so hot?
When it's ferments, it just gets hot in the middle and comes out.
So that's really hot in
Yeah, that'll be when you start bucketing that. It's going to be boiling. Start loading up, yeah. One bucket weighs 1 ton.
If that was artificial chemical fertilizer, that would have cost me £1,000.
The weigh scales is actually I was actually 1.6 ton actually.
You got weigh scales in your new muck spreader.
It's the way.
All right. There you go. It's pushed up.
You're pretty much full now. And then that just flings it out over the field, does it?
Put it this way, I had a stone the other day go out 48 metres.
48 metres out of the back?
48 metres out the back of this spreader, through a window, through a blind, hit a chair and hit a fridge.
So don't go behind your muck spreader then. So how much do you reckon this?
What all do you do in the shower? What's your routine?
A regular shower or a long shower or a super shower?
Well, I feel like I kind of want to run down of all of them.
Super short shower is your everyday. That's hop in the shower, keep your head leaned so you don't get your hair wet. Face wash, body wash, out. Easy peasy. That's 5 minutes.
Okay.
Then a regular shower includes hair wash. So that is get in shower. I usually start shampoo, I do conditioner, I let the conditioner sit in my hair while I do body wash, and then I'm out.
An everything shower?
No, after that it's just a long shower.
Okay.
That's the same step, but while the conditioner's in your hair, you shave.
Yes. Okay.
Which is different than an everything shower. Everything shower starts before you even get in the shower.
Okay.
Everything shower for me starts with hair oil in my hair, leave it 30 minutes while I play a league game or something, and a face mask, so when I get in there, like a mud mask, I get in there, I can wash it off, so I get the mud mask off, I get the hair, I do shampoo, and then I do a hair mask, and then I exfoliate. So then I go freaking sugar scrub everywhere. Sugar scrub, sugar scrub, sugar scrub. And that's when you get your, that's like coochie shave.
Yeah.
This is how I got rid of all that PTSD. I've had every symptom of PTSD, TBI, like the VA gave me a 0. And why is because I learned and I learned that some of this
Alright, you're in?
Yeah.
Word. Oh.
was diet, some of it was brain function, some of it was drinking, you know. I did this with Timmy. This is why Timmy doesn't have PTSD or no one that's ever worked for me. Because if a guy made it for me today, that night we're having drinks, and on the spot I told him this is exactly what...
Okay. Alright, back to the shit going to fucking planet Neptune.
Oh, fuck. It's high as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that ends up always being a weird thing. I don't really know why it happens like that, but... Alright. Well, I have some shit to figure out with that, but, I mean, I know the fallback is just it's slightly jittery.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, some weird shit.
But if I move it, oh shit.
Yeah, if you, yeah. You move it, it should probably be fine. Yeah. So, I don't know, there's just some shit where, I don't know, maybe it's like, my values are just a little different. Or some shit like that. I don't really know. I do a state authority check on the customizer. But that should still get called even if I have input authority. Like, that should still exist, basically. Just only the server calls it. Right?
Yes.
If, like, object.stateAuthority exists on an object that has input authority, like, that'll still run.
Yeah, object that, yeah. So, like, both are, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's just some shit.
I mean, that one was smooth.
Nah, it's just still, it's like, some shit's going on where it's like, I don't know.
How do I scale down?
Oh, you gotta click the thumbstick that you're working with.
Jeez.
So it's whichever the left or the right one or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, probably the right one for you. You gotta click the right thumbstick. And then it's up, down. There you go. Yeah, I'll turn that off pretty soon. But,
yeah.
So interesting. All right, well, whatever. So render doesn't actually change like the authoritative position of it, right? It's just like a.
It should be like every, basically non-input viewer. Like every person without input authority or state authority is render.
Gotcha.
Well, technically everybody is render, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll figure that out. So plan. Do you want to do like a before meeting merge of everything that we have?
Let me test. Let me make sure that.
Would you rather do a like, or would you rather just say, "Hey, man, this coming this afternoon"? I guess okay too.
Afternoon would be like best for all of our sanity, I think.
Yeah, probably.
But, you know, but I don't know. Let me see about this car. Like, I do want to try it out, because if there's more issues that are like really big, then I'm like, fuck. Yeah, afternoon is the way.
What I expect you to do, end of discussion. As your boss, I'm going to cut off the shirt and we're going to look at your shot placement, because marksmanship is my problem. And I check bullet holes all the time. No shit. Yeah, I'm in charge of the marksmanship here. If we're f***ing this up right now, this shit's f***ed up. We need to fix it right now. And I tell them they did a great job on the spot. And when we got back later, I'd make sure we all had a drink. And everybody came by and said thank you. Now, is this a symptom of PTSD or is this a symptom of life? This is how I got rid of all that PTSD. I've had every symptom of PTSD, TBI, like the VA gave me a 0. And why is because I learned to let it go. And I learned that some of this was diet, some of it was brain function, some of it was drinking, you know. I did this with Timmy. This is why Timmy doesn't have PTSD or no one that's ever worked for me. Because if a guy made it for me today, that night we're having drinks, and on the spot I told him this is exactly what I expect you to do. End of discussion. As your boss, I'm going to cut off the shirt and we're going to look at your shot placement, because marksmanship is my problem. And I check bullet holes all the time. No shit. Yeah, I'm in charge of the marksmanship here. If we're f***ing this up right now, this shit's f***ed up. We need to fix it right now. And I tell them they did a great job on the spot. And when we got back later, I'd make sure we all had a drink. And everybody came by and said thank you. Now, is this a symptom of P?
I'm a colonel with the Continental Army. My rank should be sufficient for now, as you wish.
Could you, as the initiating officer, care to begin?
I will, unless, of course, you'd like to claim agreement status.
Yes, I would like to claim agreement status. You have in your possession certain belongings of mine, your furniture, personal effects of a military nature, which I'd like to have returned.
We'll do so as soon as possible.
Now we come to the matter of the specific targeting of officers during engagements. Colonel, you must know that in civilized warfare, officers in the field must not be accorded inappropriate levels of hostile attention.
To your mind, what are appropriate levels of hostile attention?
Imagine the utter chaos that will follow from leaderless armies having at each other. Must be gentlemen on command to lead, and where necessary.
Yo, what's good, Pro Max? How you doing, man? Yeah, it's a little late. We working late. Got a pre-alpha to get out, so
for this,
having one of those nights. Yeah, what's up, man? Sorry, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, nah. If you gotta talk to the people, talk to the people, man. Now, what I was gonna say is, whenever you're good, if you could switch to my branch and Scene 17 and run it as host, that would be perfect.
Got you. Scene 17, your branch host. You're on the way.
Restrain them from, say, targeting civilians, women, children, and such.
It's a separate issue.
I consider them linked, as long as your soldiers attack them.
Yeah, but we're having fun, Pro Max. I mean, we're chilling. But yeah, I hope everything's well, man. Hope you're enjoying yourself.
long time no see. It's me. I just wanted to say we missed you. And
Okay. I running host. One sec. All right, I'm in there.
Hey, Nordy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'm gonna spawn a car, and I just want to see how you see it.
All right. Seems good.
Is it moving?
It's not like glitching out or anything. No.
It's like perfectly still on your end, or is it slightly rotating?
I mean, it's like a tiny little bit of wiggle, but it's like what I feel like we've normally always seen, you know?
Okay, fuck. Okay, so for me, it is slightly rotating, and that is not being correct.
Like
Okay,
by
no matter.
rotating, you mean like spinning around all the way?
No, not all the way, just like our wiggle, but like in one direction. So if I drive, you see me driving, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if I get off this car, can you drive?
Yeah. By the way, the only thing that is different is the wheels are like half in the ground. Is that that might just be a suspension thing?
I think that's a suspension thing. I don't know if my car is like, the right. Okay, you're driving. Does it look smooth? Does it feel smooth?
Yeah, it feels great.
Okay, fuck yeah. Okay, last part. If you can spawn a car from this menu, I want to see what it looks like for me.
What it looks like for you? Got it.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So you spawn a car. I'm gonna.
Oh, right, that menu. Right, yeah, I always forget.
Yeah. Wrist menus. I said.
Oh, probably should put it
Oh
somewhere
shit!
else.
The,
Yeah, fuck.
the fucking
terrible one place I could have had to park. Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on. Let me get that out of the way. Alright. Yeah, can drive just fine.
Okay. Alright, now that same car, once you get off, I'm gonna try to drive it, and I'm gonna see.
Okay.
Oh, man. God damn it.
What's the goddamn it?
It just fucking goes crazy for me. Like, it's not driving.
It's definitely driving when I'm looking at you.
So you're seeing it properly.
Yeah, you look great.
Okay, so something... if you look at my screen, it looks fucking insane. I'm like spinning out.
Huh.
Okay. Which is weird, and then if I honestly get on and get off...
Oh, I kind of see it.
Like I'm
I'm
in like a weird ass predictive state, and then it goes back to normal.
Right.
And it's only when I drive like the host spawned car.
Right. Which, hey, you know what? Fuck. Like, I don't know. Like.
Right.
Fuck it. Like.
The edge cases.
Like. I think I'll put that. As long as it's not another client. Have you tested with like it? Just like it's two clients.
No, what I should do is see if I could jump in here in multiplayer play mode with the extra person. So yeah, if we just rerun this, let me spawn another person.
Right. Should I stay in or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you're host.
Yeah, right. Holy shit. Something. Okay. Well, it worked out. Oh.
I feel like we need like an X game, fucking big air ramp.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have some bad news.
Oh fuck.
As the host, it seems like I'm still scooting back a little bit. Like, if I just hold the throttle, I had some of those scoot backs, basically. Looks like it doesn't really happen consistently.
And I wonder if it happens on like a car you spawned versus a car I spawned.
Alright. There it is. Scooting. I wonder if it's like, it's funny, like when it scoots like that, it only seems to like scoot like instantly, or sorry, like once it scoots once, it like you go again like really quickly. I wonder if it's like a packet loss thing.
Yeah, like it. Fuck, that's so weird. I mean, we aren't ever parented, I don't think. So it's like,
there you go.
we are just syncing with like information, our position.
Yeah.
Yeah, our second player.
There we go. There we go.
Oh man, fuck.
Could just be a host problem. I have no idea.
Yeah, because I don't scoot back as the client, but it's like I have this fucked up issue of driving the host car.
Right.
That's a small scoot. That's like the worst feeling. Like, wow.
I wonder why. Like, it could just be like a, I don't know, it could be like a, ugh. Yeah, a lot of seem like, yeah, it's weird. Because it's not like you... It's not like you, like, stop following the car or some shit. It's like you're still following... It's like there's just one big jump. Which makes me only think that, like, you know, like, we lose like a packet or something. Like, is there any... The prediction you do does work. It works on the smoothing buffer, right?
The prediction is like simply like taking the like physics calls and just saying like, hey, I'm gonna run them in fixed update and like just treat my results as like the truth. So like I technically don't do anything to the stabilizing system.
Which is probably, I don't know, so the stabilizing system is still relying on the, just like that sync of the car.
Yeah, being perfect, and if that like comes off by like one tick, I mean maybe the stabilizing system needs to know like a little bit better its position on the car. But yeah, like I don't know how it could do that through a desync without being like parenting.
Right. Well, because also it's like, the thing that weirds me out is that the car is not desynced. You know? So like, unless the car is jumping forward. That's something maybe I should check. Is it the car jumping forward, or is it the player jumping back? That'd probably be a better... It's kind of hard to tell. Because there could be that the car's jumping forward or something, you know?
Yeah.
It might be. It's so hard to tell. Because it's like, I think the car might be jumping forward, actually.
Yeah, I feel like I don't like, because we have this like network stack thing, and there's a call for like showing when there's a re-simulation tick. And I wonder if like re-simulating like physics even in like one like network frame or fixed update is enough to like create that situation.
Yeah, I think, just when I was looking at it and I looked at it through that lens, it looked like the car was pushing itself forward, actually. So it's like, maybe the car is like, you know, it's like snapping forward or something because of like a re-simulate or something like that, to your point. I mean, that would make less sense? No, it wouldn't make that much less sense, right? I mean, my only thought is like, why wouldn't the smoothing buffer just keep up with that? But maybe the smoothing buffer doesn't handle those kind of drastic changes.
That's a good point, because like the internals of the smoothing buffer, I'm sure there's like a lerp at play somewhere. Okay, so I am back in as a late joiner. I assume there's no car here.
Yeah, there's no car. I haven't, I gotta come back to you and spawn it. Hold on, almost there.
There's just like a big ass hole in our...
Yeah. Alright, so you would want me to spawn it? Or...
Yeah.
Or wait, do you want to spawn it because it's you want to do 2 clients?
I tried to load my second client, it wouldn't load.
I've had that issue too, actually.
Yeah, like it was asset loading forever.
It was weird. So whatever, we'll try with KT.
Okay, you're driving.
Everything seems...
Yeah, if you keep driving that one, do you like fall back at all?
Oh yeah, still.
Nice. smooth. Try to drive it. Goes ape shit. Okay. Fuck. Damn. Okay. It's so strange.
Yeah, I don't know what it could be.
And if you drive it, it's not going ape shit.
Nah.
Pretty much. Of course. Of course it's not.
Now, when I drove you, the one that you spawned for like a split second at the beginning, I had like 2 like flick.
Yeah, I saw that. And you felt that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's something with the authority switch where it's like I'm predicting or like something is weird about the sync just on switch.
Right.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to ride. I haven't even focused on riding. Alright. Okay.
Alright.
Oh shit, that was pretty good.
Ooh.
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh shit. Like you get on the bus and it just turns into fucking speed.
Yeah. Should probably just look where I was going, but you know, hey, live and learn. All right, flip over. Come on, you can do it.
Oh, true. A point about this, like, we have no mechanism to like, get rid of flipped cars. Like they're just there.
Yeah, sometimes it just, you know, I feel like usually they, you know, because they flip themselves over pretty well. It's like kind of rare it ends up like that.
The real test is to crash one into another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I still different point artist. I still have to I have to basically, oh, way to go. I have to set the colliders on these cars to like be able to hit players and stuff and shit. Alright, so yeah, I'll ride on your car.
Oh shit, not that one, because that one shakes. Let's try this one. Yeah, this one's better.
Alright.
Okay, you're on?
Yeah.
Did you get snapped on?
Yeah.
Dope. Alright,
so I inched off.
Oh fuck. Fuck. Okay, same issue. Fuck.
So that could, I mean, I don't know if it's the car or the smoothing buffer. It could be either.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's probably time to like look at the smoothing buffer. Because before it was definitely like car related shit.
Yeah.
But this. Okay. Alright, not the worst. We can drive cars when we spawn. People can ride them. It gets crazy when we drive each other's cars.
Seemingly.
Yeah, this fucking skateboard makes me want to like be able to do tricks with my car.
Yeah, it's kind of fun trying, honestly.
Okay, I need to fix the fucking race menu spot because we do have to test the other cars.
Yeah.
I hope they're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same car for the most part.
That's a good point.
They may have slightly different values for like turning radius.
Okay,
and okay, let's see if I try and replicate this like alright, push me back. Come on, do it.
I mean, see, like, here's the thing. Like, this isn't perfect, but I for damn sure think that this would inspire confidence if we just get it in their hands. At least, because, like, we did not have driving in whatever they tested last. Like, they have not really driven. They haven't even seen, like, parts. And so, like, yeah, there's some, like, kinks, but, like, yeah, I think we can give them this early.
Yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, basically it's like, yeah, can we give it to them in a way that they feel like, all right, this is a little weird, but like I'm not, like, it's not garbage basically, or it's not like unplayable or like like I wouldn't want to give this to anybody type shit.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. All right, that was the test. That's perfect.
Okay. Well, so we just want to, for sanity's sake, just say we'll put something up in the post-merge on Friday.
I think that's best for our sanity.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. Alrighty, man.
Guys, looks like
I have a pizza that's in the fridge. It's got my name on it.
You can go eat that.
But it's been fun.
Crack.
And
helpful and informative.
He is. And I will see you tomorrow morning, dude.
Yeah, man. Later today.
Later today. Holy shit. You're right.
Alright, man.
Alright, man. I'll catch you later.
Yep. Peace.
Alright. Deuces, guys.